Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Australian Bush. For today's vlog, I have a special guest. Friends, let's all welcome Jayne.
Oh, hello.
It's her first time to be in my bush and it's her first time to be on my vlog, Jayne.
It is my first time to be on anybody's vlog. This is a new experience for me.
And how are you, Jayne? I haven't seen you for like 2 years.
I know.
What's been going on?
What has been going on? Okay, so it is 2 years since we saw you. I'm very excited to come and visit you.
Yeah, getaway.
Holiday getaway place. It's very gorgeous, and we brought the camping trailer up.
I like your camping trailer. You
I
can
love
leave it here.
No, we're not leaving it here. We really like it, and it's very.
You're not camping, you're glamping.
We're so glamping. We've got like the glamorous. You just pull the camper out, just got a hard bottom, and
Yeah.
just like boom, and pull out a kitchen and put up a few bits and pieces. Angus has put on disco lights everywhere, so it's pretty cool.
I want to see that.
I know, we haven't set them up properly yet. It's just a home away from home, get out of the city, which is awesome.
What if they like to see it, Jayne?
Oh yeah, no, it's really messy. If I'm going to do a tour, it's not going to be today.
Yeah, some other time. She's very honest.
I'm very honest.
From that 2-year period that I didn't see you, so what's been happening aside from the camper trailer that you bought?
I've just been doing some crafting. You know that I love to do crafting, doing some painting and some, making different jewelry in my free time. And then apart from that, going to work and swimming in the pool, hanging with my doggies, living my best everyday life.
And how's your love life, Jayne? Is it going strong?
My love, well, it is. Angus and I, we have been together for 10 years this year.
Wow.
So we met just before he turned 40 and he's just turned 50 that we've been together. So I would say it's going really strong. We're really happy. He's lovely.
Well, that's good. What's your advice for all the lovers out there? How
All the
to keep
lovers
it
out
strong
there,
and
how to keep
alive?
it strong. Well, I really believe in doing date nights. So date nights for me is something that I have really done for a long time. So date night is not the sexy thing it sounds like. But date night is more like that's connection time with your partner where you go, okay, it's time for us to do something nice together, have that time where you can have like that more close, intimate conversations, maybe cook a meal for each other. So I think date night, when you're busy and you're working, you've got lots going on. So like for me, I've got some health stuff. I've got a dog who has health stuff and working full time and busy with our kids. Making a time to do something special together, I think really enriches your relationship and makes you feel close. So that's my advice. So we would do that at least once a fortnight, once a week. We're like, let's do date night. So for me, at my place, a date night might look like this. Someone would cook. That's usually Angus because he's a wonderful cook.
Yes.
And then, and then we have an outdoor veranda area, and Angus has built this beautiful pull down massive screen so we can do an outdoor. So if it's winter, we'll do an outdoor video night and have the fire going and just eat there and sit there and have a drink, and that's what a date night looks like for us.
Oh, how romantic.
Or it can be going and spending a night somewhere, but obviously with COVID, nobody's going anywhere, no one's doing anything, and everywhere you go you have to wear a mask. So we've kind of changed it up to be that.
So how does COVID, the pandemic, change you as a couple? Did it affect you?
For me, I've always been a person who likes to set little goals. So I like to have a plan of what my future is going to look like and work towards that. So that might be around budgeting for planning with my house, or making a list of things I want to do on my house, or where I want to have a holiday. So in my mind, I wanted a certain thing, and now you have to revisit that. And, it's not the same doing a plan and not having like some happy thing like a holiday at the end where you're working towards that. So you've had to change what that would look like. Yeah.
And the COVID changed that, all your plans?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I've always been a person who loves to travel. And so for me, the thing that I find the hardest is not being able to plan for travel. And, that will come over time as more people, as everything opens up again and we can go and do that. So for me, that's the thing that I most miss.
So where did you last travel?
The last time I traveled, we went to Bali with some friends just for 1 week. And it actually came up on my Facebook the other day. It was like 4 years ago. And it was just 1 week. Probably the year after that, we also went to Melbourne for a week to visit my son. He's living in Melbourne. So we did do that as well. We've had some little things. But I actually really miss traveling through places like Thailand, and I like Thailand, and I've been there a couple of times. I like India, and I don't know, I like Asian countries. I've always wanted to go to
I'm Asian.
I know. I was just going to say, I've always wanted to go to the Philippines as well. So
Take me with you.
You can be my tour guide.
Yeah, I'll be your tour
don't
guide.
go there, that's not so great, but we're going to go over here. So
We'll go to the whale sharks in Oslo.
let's go there.
Yes.
Let's go there. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully if this pandemic it will be managed.
It'll calm down eventually. We hope.
You have a son, and Angus
Yeah.
have a son.
Yeah.
How did that?
family.
Yeah, how did you manage it?
Yeah. So when we first got together, my son's father was still alive. So my son lived with me full time and then spent some time with his father at another household. So he'd been living between us for a long time, but with me since he was 12, and then weekends and school holidays and stuff, like rotating it around. But I was always very good friends with my son's dad. That never really caused any issues at all. We were always good friends and cared about our son. So when Angus and I met, he was about 14. It was quite complicated. And Zach was really little, so I was just kind of the extra mum with Zach. So we just kind of worked it out, and then eventually when my son was ready to move out, he was old enough within a couple of years and moved in with friends and then to Melbourne and gone to uni and all that kind of stuff. So we just, we have times where, so Zach would be with his mum part of the time, like week on, week off, and then with us part of the time. We just work with it. And then if someone needs to come stay or someone needs to go there, like we just work with it. You just got to make peace with whatever your situation is the best thing, to not be stressed and just go with it.
So you're embracing this setup.
I totally feel like I've got 2 sons.
So are you planning to have another kid?
Not planning to have any children, because definitely not engaged in any ideas of more future children that aren't fur babies. Happy to have more dogs. Don't want any children. Don't want any extra children. I'm happy with that size family.
When we have our babies, like it's our kids.
Yeah, that's right. And I've got 2 very naughty little dachshunds, so I think that they give me a run for their money. I don't need any more.
Do you have favorites?
I literally won't allow myself to have a favourite. I want them to feel loved equally.
Is Angus also a dog person or a cat person?
I think, look, I'm the cat person, but I have I guess more ethical reasons. If I was allowed to have a cat again, I would need to have it contained in the house and have it on a lead or build a cat enclosure, because I really care about nature and wildlife. So I wouldn't want to have them roaming free, and cats are very good at hunting. So I wouldn't want to have an outdoor cat. And there's ways to work with that. But now that I've got the dogs, they're not that friendly with other dogs even. They certainly don't like cats. If the chooks accidentally, we've got a couple of chooks for eggs, fresh eggs. We've got a organic garden. The dogs would eat the chickens if they got the opportunity. So a cat's out of the question. But I think Angus grew up in farm life, so he grew up in a bit of a rural setting. His family
Like this setting?
Yeah, but down south, and they had working dogs rather than pet dogs. So his idea of dogs, I think, is kind of different. But he's had dogs in the family for a while, and certainly he loves our dogs.
What are the animals that you like to keep in your place aside from the dogs?
We've only got the 2 dogs, and we've got 3 chickens. I have frogs. Every summer I have a water garden.
Yes.
I raise tree frogs in the water garden. So Angus actually built it for me out of a recycled small bar fridge and put beautiful timber on the outside, so it looks like a Japanese bath, kind of. Not exactly, but it's very pretty. And then I grow big water plants in there. And then in the summertime, if I find a puddle or something with eggs and I know the difference between cane toad eggs and tree frog eggs, like other frog eggs.
So what's the difference? I'm really curious about this, that you make sure that you have the frog, not the cane toad.
Yeah, definitely make sure. One of the things that's very obvious about the cane toad eggs is that they're in a big, long black string.
Yeah, I've seen that in the Philippines, in the rice field.
I had a hobby farm about 20 years ago, and I used to go out every morning and find all the strings and just flick them.
Did you?
Yeah, dry them out. Because cane toads in Australia are an introduced species, so that means that anything that eats them, there's a couple of little animals that can eat parts of a cane toad, but they're toxic basically to most things that eat them. Even our domestic animals can die from being in contact with a cane toad.
I've seen a video. They're catching and they're cooking it, eating it.
And I think that happens in a few Asian
I'm
countries.
like, oh, so
in
that is
Vietnam,
not a
they do
poisonous
that.
variety.
No, there's frogs that are edible. I mean, in France they eat frogs' legs. In lots of different cultures they do eat frogs. My understanding that if humans were to eat a cane toad, that you could eat the legs, but there's not a lot of meat.
Yes.
It's not something I would do, so I'm not talking because I've tried it, because I have not tried it, just to make that clear. When I've travelled in other countries, I think it's interesting to try the different
delicacies in the area.
Certain things, there's some things that I would not be comfortable to try. I probably wouldn't try something like a flying fox. I would feel uncomfortable to eat something like that.
No, I haven't tried that either.
Yeah, so
And I haven't tried balut.
What's balut? Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I
I'm
haven't tried
meaning
that.
to eat that for my vlog, but then I don't know if I have the courage to eat
Yeah,
that balut.
I have seen that also, but I haven't ever tried anything like that.
It's sold in the Asian shop.
I'm not comfortable with that. I have eaten scorpion and crickets and that kind of stuff. I tried that in Thailand. Yeah, deep fried things. I've tried that. They're just like on a stick and deep fried.
Yes.
I haven't tried. I don't know.
Oh,
I've
you're
tried
exotic person now.
Not really, not really at all.
Yeah.
I just try a little bit of things because there's some things that I'm not comfortable.
Have
to
you
try.
tried durian?
Yeah, I love durian. Interestingly, I have a very good friend who ran a commercial orchard up towards Cape Tribulation.
Yes.
So she would grow a whole range of different fruits to go into her ice cream. And so she had, and we were very close at that time because I lived off grid for a long time, as you know. She got me onto that. So she had a very good flavoured one. I absolutely love durian, and I know it's stinky, but I have a real taste for it.
I don't like it.
I love it. Then you've got to try it a few times.
Do you like jackfruit?
Love jackfruit, but I don't like the ones that are too bubblegummy. I like the other ones. And dried jackfruit, I love dried jackfruit. It's amazing. So we've got a dehydrator. It's very delicious dried. And Angus also has made before a beautiful jackfruit curry when it's
It's
you
like
cut it all up. And
a
there's a
vegetable
recipe
form.
that goes like pulled pork. It like goes, it's an
Yes.
unusual recipe.
It's a lot of work involved.
It's a lot of work. Yeah,
'Cause
but
of the
he
sap.
loves that. He's like, for me, if it takes longer than 15 minutes, I don't know that I'm going to have the patience. I'm not really that keen. But for me, I like simple food, but his food is delicious.
So what's your favorite dish that Angus cooks?
Oh, he makes actually an amazing dish that, so we grow, as I said, we have a few things growing in the garden because we're in a tropical environment. We have what we call a permaculture food forest. So I've done a permaculture course, and Angus has joined permaculture groups where you learn and you replicate. Permaculture means permanent agriculture. Permanent agriculture is the process where you're replicating nature.
Yes.
So permaculture
In your backyard. You're
in our
doing that in your
backyard. So we have
yeah.
a food forest in our backyard, and what that means is we're growing a lot of things that do well in every tropical environment. We're not growing things that would become invasive, so they're not going to grow like weeds into other people's gardens. And we've only got a very small garden because we're just in an urban environment at the moment. My favorite dish that he grows is so we grow our own ginger, we grow galangal, so ginger's like a bit more nutty. Is it in Philippine cooking?
No, we usually use the kamunggay, the moringa.
It has those spices and it has lemons from our garden. And we also grow moringa tree. So he uses that in the cooking.
Yes,
with a
I
lemon
love
base. It's
moringa.
so good. And he has pandan, which he makes the rice. But neither of us, we're both doing keto, so we're not doing rice now. But one of my favorite dishes is that either with a fish or with chicken, with the moringa and the lemon and
The
those
pandan?
spices. Bit of pandan, I think, is in there. So he makes it into very delicious. It's what he always cooks me on my birthday.
So I hope every day he'll cook that for you.
No, we don't need to, because I think it's a lot of preparation. And if it's like for an occasion or you're having friends over, he will do that. It's very delicious.
And is he still making the pandan ice cream? I tried his pandan ice cream.
Yeah,
It's
his pandan
yum.
ice cream is amazing. He's been on keto for really strict keto, so he hasn't been having any sugar. So there's nothing you can have. But he's going to try some keto ice cream recipes.
But what will you put instead of the sugar then?
Well, there's something you can use, like
Stevia?
monk fruit. Well, you can use stevia, but it is an inflammatory in your body, so it's not ideal. So it's very tricky. And then if you're on keto, you can't really have rice syrup because anything that is sugary. So we're not sure.
So what is keto diet? What do you eat if you have a keto diet?